What if I told you that in less than 40 seconds, the entire Trump dynasty was left trembling? Not by the FBI, not by the media, not even by a relentless investigative journalist, but by a single woman standing on live television, daring to confront the most untouchable name in modern politics. That woman was Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, and her words did more than stir a room. And they shattered a carefully curated family image, leaving Donald Trump frozen in a moment that will be replayed endlessly across the internet. The cameras rolled, the audience gasped, and within moments, the clip had gone viral, capturing a scene that would define political confrontation for a generation. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and join our community at Scandal Pulse, where we break down the biggest stories and reveal the hidden truths behind public figures. You won't want to miss what comes next, because the story that Jasmine Crockett set in motion isn't just about politics. It's about family, power, and secrets that money, influence, and spin cannot hide. Every frame, every word she spoke carried weight that would ripple far beyond that room. And today, you're going to get the full story from start to finish. To truly grasp the impact of what happened, you need to understand the stage and the players. Ivanka Trump had always been portrayed as a perfect daughter, the polished face of the Trump empire, the bridge between her father's chaotic world and the veneer of sophistication he tried to project. She was the image of familial loyalty, a constant companion to her father in public events, a symbol of controlled elegance. But behind the public smiles and glossy magazine covers, the cracks were growing. Whispers about her marriage to Jared Kushner, late-night arguments, unexplained absences, and icy silences had circulated for years. Leaks hinted at tension and resentment, secrets that no one dared speak aloud until Jasmine Crockett stepped into the spotlight. Crockett didn't approach Trump with the usual political fire. She didn't speak of policies, indictments, or election promises. She targeted something far more sensitive: family. And in the world of Donald Trump, family is not just personal, it's power. Ivanka is more than a daughter. She is a shield, a symbol, a living proof of Trump's ability to create loyalty and glamour out of chaos. When Jasmine Crockett publicly questioned the stability of Ivanka and Jared's marriage, Trump wasn't prepared. He didn't have the arsenal of insults, the practice comebacks, or the distraction tactics he relied on for decades. For the first time in years, the man who thrived on control faltered. The auditorium was tense. Cameras clicked, lights shone, and the audience waited with bated breath. Trump, confident as ever, was ready to dominate. But Crockett leaned forward, calm and measured, and in just 37 seconds, she dismantled the FA cut straight to the heart of the Trump family image. "You can talk about me all day, Mr. Trump," she said, her voice steady and unflinching. "But maybe you should focus on why your daughter Ivanka doesn't even believe in the fairy tale marriage you keep parading in front of America. Everyone knows Jared's been stepping out, and she's not sticking around much longer." The room gasped. Trump froze for 3 full seconds. A lifetime in politics. He had no answer. His hands fumbled on the podium. His lips parted and the world caught it all. That pause became a meme, a screenshot, a moment that would define the day. Within seconds, social media erupted. Clips were shared, retweeted, and remixed, carrying the 37-second confrontation across platforms with captions like the moment the Trump dynasty cracked. What Crockett had done wasn't just speak a truth. It was expose a vulnerability money and lawyers couldn't cover. And yet, her words were not idle. Rumors swirled that Crockett had evidence texts, insider confirmations, messages that corroborated the fractures in Ivanka and Jared's marriage. If true, this was precision political theater executed with the care of a seasoned strategist. She didn't guess, she confirmed. The 37 seconds on stage weren't just an attack, they were revelation. Backstage, Trump reportedly erupted. Staffers described a scene of chaos, fists against walls, frantic phone calls, and demand for Ivanka to intervene. But Ivanka, for the first time, stayed silent. Her lack of response spoke volumes, and that silence fueled speculation. If Crockett's claims were false, wouldn't Ivanka or Jared have rushed to deny them? Their quiet only magnified the impact of the revelation, suggesting that perhaps there was truth behind the accusations. Meanwhile, the digital world exploded. Anonymous accounts claimed to share private DMs between Jared and others, blurry photos of alleged late-night outings, and threads that hinted at betrayal and deception. Social media users pieced together narratives, often fueled by intuition and digital selfing, creating a frenzy that journalists scrambled to verify. Every post, every clip, every meme compounded the pressure on Trump and his family. The plot thickened when sources suggested that Crockett's information came from someone inside Trump's inner circle, a disloyal insider with access to family secrets. This raised the stakes exponentially. Who could it have been? A staffer? A former friend? Perhaps a distant relative? The paranoia in Trump Tower reportedly soared with loyalty scrutinized and phones monitored. If Crockett's sources were legitimate, this was only the beginning of the upheaval. Despite the chaos, Trump tried to spin the narrative. A pose on truth social claim fake news sad lie from a desperate nobody. Ivanka and Jared are stronger than ever. But the absence of any public acknowledgement from Ivanka spoke louder than the denial. Observers noticed immediately if this were fiction, she would have acted. Instead, she remained silent, a move that only amplified the story. Then came another twist. Leaks emerged on Reddit and social media, allegedly showing private emails between Ivanka and close confidants, where she lamented, "The marriage looks perfect in pictures, but feels empty in real life. Jared has his secrets. I have mine. Dad only cares about the image." Screenshots circulated rapidly, confirming the whispers that had hovered around the Trump family for years. Even mainstream outlets picked up on the story. The Daily Beast reported that Ivanka had consulted divorce lawyers visiting Manhattan offices known for discreet billionaire separations. Each revelation added weight to Crockett's 37th second-down bombshell. Public appearances followed, but even stage photos couldn't hide tension. Jared and Ivanka's forced smiles and distant stars were dissected online, with social media users calling out every subtle sign of discomfort. Memes and video edits multiplied, transforming political commentary into cultural spectacle. Jasmine Crockett herself doubled down, appearing live online, sipping tea calmly as she addressed thousands of viewers, reinforcing her message and confirming her influence. From that day forward, the story of the Trump family, once shrouded in carefully managed public appearances and polished media narratives, shifted dramatically. In less than a minute, a single woman had pulled back the curtain on a family empire, revealing fractures that legal teams, PR experts, and loyalists couldn't hide. And for the millions watching, it wasn't just politics. It was a real-time saga of power, secrecy, and the vulnerabilities of even the most untouchable figures. The ripple effects were immediate. Analysts debated the implications for the Trump campaign. Political opponents seized the moment. Loyalists reevaluated allegiances. And through it all, Jasmine Crockett emerged not as a mere politician, but as a catalyst for one of the most shocking moments in recent political history. Her courage to speak, armed with evidence and conviction, forced the Trump family into a rare and unguarded moment, one that the world and social media would never forget. And so the 37 seconds became legend, a brief instant where the veneer of invincibility cracked, a moment when truth, courage, and timing collided to expose the fragility behind a gilded dynasty. Trump's freeze was not just a pause. It was a symbol of what happens when power meets fearless accountability. And for Ivanka, Jared, and the rest of the Trump empire, the consequences are far from over. The story didn't end at night. It continues to unfold in whispers, leaks, and viral posts. Each new revelation adding to the narrative that Jasmine Crockett set in motion. Every glance, every silence, every subtle action is now interpreted through the lens of those 37 seconds. And in that space, the question remains, how much longer can the facade hold? How much longer can appearances mask the truth? One thing is certain, the world will be watching, and the echoes of that brief, unforgettable confrontation will resonate for years to come.